pressure, so want to avoid turnovers. And then Adelaide, she's a very good three-point shooter. She made 8 in one of the playoff games. She can shoot, so they're going to have to contain her on the other side. Bertie is.
On this day, Four Rivers 1A collides with Northwest Piedmont 1A. It's a purple and white against the Columbia Blue, Navy, and white, and a Class A title is going to be settled between them. Bishop McGuinness, Bertie for the title when you return to Raleigh.
4 strips of crispy bacon and rich melty cheese and 2 juicy charbroiled patties. Of course, no meeting can compete with this meat. Give in to the new Double Bacon Beast Burger at Hardee's and feed your happy.
At Ortho Carolina, personalized orthopedic care goes beyond my appointment. From the convenience of online scheduling to a friendly voice on the phone, I can schedule my visit on my time. And with after-hours urgent care and video visits, my pain doesn't have to be my problem anymore. Ortho Carolina, my care, my way. Schedule your appointment today at orthocarolina.com.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builder's Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build, build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa. Beast mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Well, time to take a glance at our West Shore home starting lineups. Boone, Perkins, Askew, Williams, and we highlighted Stokes. That's the group going to lead this Bertie crew to the charge at the West Shore home starting lineup glance. And then we're going to have the starting 5 for Bishop McGuinness. Going to be Chapel Sisters, Jernigan, Varner, and Harriman. That's the group that will be on the floor to begin things for Bishop McGuinness. Those are West Shore home starting lineups. West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand. We move from 3A to 1A, and we're ready for another title to be handed out in Raleigh today. Gathered up by Bertie. Bertie will begin things as Hill will have access to it, quickly gets it into the hands of Boone. You talk about youth versus experience when you break this one down, Coach.
Yeah, and the big part about when you're talking high school, there's a big difference between a 14-year-old and a 17, 18-year-old. So
trying to take that deep 3, and how about that? There is our first West Shore home 3. Knocked down by Brianna West. And just that quickly, the fans having made the trip from Hertford, North Carolina, they're into it. Bertie out front with a tray to begin things. Basketball belongs to them as well. Far side is Smallwood. Flashes the other direction. Here's Boone with it. And this comes across to West once again. West looking in the direction of Smallwood. Big setup up top. Boy, nice move to get some open real estate, but it won't go down for West. West hanging with it, goes right back up. Third look, that won't go. Eventually knocked away by Varner, and will be out of bounds. It will belong to Bishop McGuinness. Here is the head coach for Bertie, that's Chris Jordan, who is leading this Falcons crew to the charge. You see the record they put together, looking for a championship victory here in 2022. Nice job on the lob, other end. First points for Bishop McGuinness going to belong to Katie Dill. And you're already familiar, if you followed high school athletics, with Katie Dill, who eats up some space in the paint for the Villains.
Yeah, exactly. And I tell you, they're a young team, but they really are coached well. I've only watched 45 seconds.
Slowing it up for West. And that's going to be gathered up by Jernigan far side. And underneath, laid home for Chappell. Well, the Twins are on the floor. Tate Chappell there. Charlie Chappell wearing jersey number 3. They'll both factor in heavily for the Villains of Bishop McGuinness.
You know, they're trapping right now. They've gotten 2 turnovers quickly. There's another one.
Off the fingertips of Varner. We've called Kirsten Varner's name a couple of times. She's playing with gusto in the early stages.
There's almost 3 turnovers in the first minute and a half.
Well, it's as true for this 1A game as it was for the 3A game earlier. Floor a little longer, stripes a little different at certain places on that floor, environment a little larger than what you're used to in a high school gym. How you handle those early moments is the line has stepped onto the far side. Going to be key to how you perform today.
It's a big factor when you come on college courts because it's 10 feet longer. So meaning that when you come over half court in a high school, then you can maybe start your offense. Here, you come over half court, you better not try to start your offense. You're so far out, but that's what happens. And the other thing is the depth perception. And when you're shooting the ball from looking at the basket from the front, it's tough.
And here's a look at Coach Robinson of Bishop McGuinness, trying to turn this into a 26-win campaign. You see they went perfect through the conference portion of the schedule there in Northwest Piedmont 1A. Purple and white, the moment for them as the 1A championship is back in effect. And you know what you're accustomed to. If you're in that world, the expectations high. And back here in Raleigh today, trying to turn it into a championship moment. And yes, we'll say that for all 4 games. Going to be a lot of people joining us for certain games to see their particular teams that aren't with us all day long. Go, you're certainly our heroes if you're going to spend the full Saturday with us. But it's a point we'll make throughout, because each of these teams, when they start this game, they have to deal with the unusual nature of the environment.
And if you're going to make threes early, you know, they need a chance to practice in here, so that's hard. And then the other thing, from the corner, you're all right. There's not a big depth perception there, but it's the facing the basket. There's a lot of room behind this basket.
But you look up at your fans and your community leaders in this environment, and you say, what a thrill.
Oh, exactly.
Just to be here.
Yeah.
And a foul called as they work it in the interior to Charlie Chappell. There's the other of the Chappell sisters. We called Tate's name just a little bit earlier. Again, they are twins, and they are both very good basketball players. 2 of the main reasons this Villains team is here looking to make 2022 a title year. And the Builders Discount Center free throw will fall. Builders Discount Center, don't just build tough. How about how tough Charlie Chappell is from the free throw line there? Knocks them both down. It's 6-3 Bishop McGuinness. And a foul call and the bucket. Going to the line for one more is Rakaya Bill. How about her work? Just to get a shot up. And now she'll have a chance to get 3 the old-fashioned way.
They were lucky there because that was the 4th turnover, but you got through it.
Instead of 4 turnovers, it becomes 3 points as she will end up knocking down the Builders Discount Center free throw, and that makes it a tie basketball game in the early stages between these two. So no initial spurt to push either of them out front. They're playing pretty equal thus far.
Yeah, Bertie wants the full court pressure, but you can't do that unless you score, and they just did it. So it's going to be very important that they score a good percentage.
Villains working it around. 3-ball put up by Jernigan. It's going to rim off. And far side Varner gathered it up. Jernigan again. She'll try it once more. This time she drains the West Shore home 3-pointer. Bringing happiness to every home. That's West Shore home. She's bringing happiness to everybody pulling for the Villains here today.
Her first jump shot was way beyond the college line. That one was right on the high school line.
Makes a difference. Taken away. Here's Chappell. Lays it off the glass. Charlie Chapel a bucket. Here's that spurt for the Villains, an 11-6 lead. Bishop McGuinness.
They're going to have to take care of this offensive, the pressure. They have to take care of the ball.
Right down the left side. Contact. We'll see which way this call goes. It's going to be offensive player control foul on Brianna West, and the Villains will take over under the bucket. We're coming to you from Valvano Arena at Reynolds Coliseum. K-Yow Court. All those names mean so much in the state of North Carolina, and today, this Saturday, meaning so much as championships are being handed out in all classifications, both here and at the Dean Dome over at the Dean Smith Center on the campus of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. What a day to be in the triangle. And a little swing pass. Another West Shore home three. Goes down again. It's Charlie Chapel. She's really heating up here. The combo of Chapel and Jernigan shooting the lights out from beyond the arc. Up front to Chapel. Got to be specific. Charlie Chapel kicks it out. Here's Jernigan. This three won't go, but chased down far side by Varner. Varner will try one. It's off the iron. The follow, a little too strong. Battling for it inside was Katie Deal, but it'll eventually be run out by Bertie. And we get a whistle underneath. Going to send it the other way. Basketball going to belong to the Villains with 3:34 to play.
Turnovers, they're just turning. They're not getting any shots at the basket.
Bertie taking care of business through Cape Hatteras, Woods Charter, Chatham Central, Northside Pinetown, Wilson Prep. Now facing Bishop McGuinness for the title. 3:34 left in the first. Villains out front, 14-6.
I got my COVID-19 vaccine because I want to work towards a more normal world in the classroom and for sports and my grandparents.
I got vaccinated because I love my family. I love my friends.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
Well, intimidating look if you're coming in here as an opponent, right? Of course, everybody on equal footing today is using the ACC arena to settle what is a Class 1A championship, and the Villains gathered up talking things over. You mentioned just how impressed you were today. I know it's been a long time ago for you being in this facility competing in ACC basketball games during your career, but you were a little blown away with the nice job they've done flipping this facility, which has some age on it, but what history it provides.
I was looking behind one of the baskets, and I see where the seats used to be. They had more seats behind the bench in this place than they did on the side court.
I know that made life fun for you, right? On a day like this, you want them as close as you can get them, these fan bases, and a nice crowd having turned out for the Class A title game. Coming up the floor is Charlie Chapel. She leads all scorers with 7.
They're running a box and one on Jernigan. So the 4 people are in a zone.
Well,
and one person's playing Jernigan.
Gets a little tighter there. Charlie Chapel may have the lead with 7, but her sister Tate now has 5. She knocks down a tray. That's the West Shore home 3. This taken away. Here comes a stop and pop from Jernigan. Won't go. They kick it back out to her. She'll try another West Shore 3. That rattles out. But trying to get it on the fingertips there. Every bit of Katie Dill's 6-foot frame she's trying to use to corral those rebounds.
I tell you, freshman Jernigan usually don't do what you did. She missed a shot, got it back, and took another one right away. And she is the leading scorer.
She's firing away.
Bertie already has 9 turnovers.
Just remarkable. Jernigan already having hit a 3. Chapel, as we said, with those 7 points. She's connected from within and without. And speaking of Chappell, here she is. Charlie Chappell takes another. Punched out in the direction of number 22, Ross. They call her Izzy Ross. Isabella Ross has it in her hands right now.
So in this situation, Bertie's playing four girls are playing the zone, and one's playing man-to-man on Jernigan.
Flashed inside, and a scramble for it. Going to be a tie-up. Alternating possession arrow is with Bishop McGuinness, so it stays with the Villains.
When someone plays a box and one or a triangle and two, offensively, it takes you a while to adjust to figure out where you're going to get your shots from.
Villains, plenty of them so far. 17-6 is the advantage that has been built, and this would make it 20, but that's a little short from Charlie Chappell. And now Bertie to the other end, needing a bucket right now. This Bertie team, having seen the lead grow to double digits for their opponent with just under 2 to play in the opening period. Quickly over to Smallwood, and eventually into the hands of Charlie Chappell. Looking way out front to Jernigan. Jernigan attacks and lays it in.
They haven't gotten these shots to the basket. They just turned it over again for the 10th turnover.
Well, we gave you the journey for Bertie a bit ago. We'll tell you how the Villains got here at the end of this period. What a period it has been for Bishop McGuinness. Nothing on this trip, though. And Bertie looking for a strong last minute and a half or so to the corner. That'll help. It's Boone who takes it to the hoop. Yasmin Asia Boone with a key bucket for Bertie. And that rattles around off a couple of those Falcons and will remain with the Villains.
Going back to this three-point, the only shot that was inside the college line was one of Jernigan's shots. Other than that, everybody's shooting the ball. Because that line, they think it's a high school line. They're thinking that line, they say.
Well, the line's there, right?
So
you got to play by.
Yeah.
But, now making that adjustment, that was from the right location for Bishop McGuinness. Chased out of bounds by Dill. And the call will keep it right here with the Villains. Some in the building not so sure. You can hear from the reaction. Set play, and there's the call.
Moving block.
Flip it, yep.
Moving screen.
Off the ball there, and it'll be Bertie basketball with 55 seconds remaining in the opening period. Talked about Bertie's trip as they slowly bring this up the floor. How about Bishop McGuinness? Raced on Day, Rosman, North Rowan, Murphy, and then Mountain Heritage to get into this contest today. Bertie trying to battle right back in this affair. And a trip to the Builders Discount Center free throw line coming. An and one opportunity for Rakaya Pill.
That's like the other basket they made. Almost a turnover into a basket and maybe a three-pointer, because that's what happened last time she made a three-pointer.
Pill, one of the youngsters, just a sophomore. And she'll try to take advantage of this Builders Discount trip to the charity stripe. And a little roll. Every bit of the rim, but that's okay. Falls for the 11th Falcons point. Lead 8 in the final minute of the opening quarter for Bishop McGuinness.
Again, you're seeing the box and one.
Swinging around the perimeter, inside the deal. That's kicked back out top. There was enough of a shooting window there that Tate Chappell tried it, and now we get a tie-up. Possession arrow will send it the other direction.
You know, when someone does a box and one, they're telling the other 4 girls that are not being manned, go ahead and shoot. And you need to just go and shoot it, because they're saying you're not a good shooter.
The one thing we're not going to allow to happen is that one thing. That's the idea there. 10 seconds remaining in the period. And it's stopped at 10.4 as Bishop McGuinness right in front of that bench. Has to be pleased with the way this first period went, Coach Brian Robinson.
Now these exactly, everything's working out perfectly. These other girls going to just go ahead and shoot the ball, get open and feel good about it.
Take advantage. Here's a little stop, pop, front of the iron. And the horn sounds, but the Villains of Bishop McGuinness able to post 19 first period points in the journey, having led them right back here, right to Raleigh. An 8-point lead in effect as the 1A title game rolls on. Second quarter coming up after the break.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builders Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build, build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
Parenthood. Not a job for the faint of heart.
Go easy on the brake.
It takes nerves of steel, patience of a saint, and a pretty strong grip on your senses. At Ingalls, we know that part of being a good parent is knowing when to hold on for dear life and knowing when to let go. So here's to the moms and dads who board this roller coaster, knowing they're in for the ride of a lifetime. Ingalls, all the ingredients for family.
The National Desk. Impartial, fact-based journalism from nearly 4,000 local journalists across America.
Immediate news now from the National Desk.
This is the foundation of their health.
Context and perspective from America's news now.
I wish the DOD would care as much as I do.
Choose America's news now. Each weekday morning from the National Desk.
Weekdays at 7 on CW22.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
I got my COVID-19 vaccine because I want to work towards a more normal world in the classroom and for sports and my grandparents.
I got vaccinated because I love my family. I love my friends.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
7 first quarter points for Charlie Chappell. Bid for the player of the game designation brought to you by West Shore Home, which will come up at the end of this broadcast. West Shore Home bringing happiness to every home. Second quarter now underway. Well, from 2006 to 2014, it was Bishop McGuinness each and every time, alternating years between the Smith Center and here at Reynolds Coliseum. And they're back and in charge, 19-11. This taken away quickly. And down the left side goes the leading scorer, and we'll get a whistle when all is said and done. Coach, you were watching very closely in that first period.
Well, when Bertie went to the box and one, it slowed things down because when McGuinness scores, they go full court trap, and that's really hurting Bertie. But when they don't score, it's a half court, and they do a better job with that. There's a full court pressure again.
Well, taking it to the hoop is Tate Chappell. That's going to work its way on by Jernigan, and now the Villains will reset here. Chappell tried for some points in the paint. We're keeping an eye on points in the paint throughout. They'll be tracked by Hardee's. They encourage you to check out their new menu, the Bacon Beast menu at Hardee's. Points do come from in the paint. And there's Kirsten Varner, who has the latest of the buckets for a team now up 21-11. That's coming our way. Save on a valiant effort from Tate Chappell. And a throw-in coming. 7:01 to go, second period. Lead having grown to double digits for Bishop.
Falcons are getting no shots at the basket. It's, you know, and the key is stopping McGuinness from scoring to not face that full court pressure. But that's not happening right now. It did for a second.
Timeout at the 7:01 mark.
Need to take care of the basketball.
Well, we'll have our Talk It Out NC play of the game. Comes up at the conclusion of this afternoon's contest. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. It's the Talk It Out North Carolina play of the game. So you want to stick around. It a great opportunity for you to get acquainted further with these teams when the contest is over. You'll see the play of the game. We talked about the West Shore Home player of the game. Trophy presentation covered live for you. We get a chance to visit with the Victoria's head coach courtside when all is said and done. So much to come even after the final whistle here today. And this again, just the second of 4. Another boys and girls championship to be performed before all is said and done. Everything wrapping up tonight with the 7:30 Northwood versus Inca contest. Sandwiched in between here in just a bit, a 5 p.m. scheduled start. Knights and Yellow Jackets, you've been waiting on them. They'll be here today as well. Bishop McGuinness set to inbound with 7 to go in the second quarter.
Bertie's had 16 turnovers. That's 16 possible shots you'd be taking, you know, and they're turning it over. That's a lot. We've only played 1 quarter.
Yeah, talk about cutting into a 10-point deficit. Cut that in half. It'll do that pretty quickly.
I don't think the coach was expecting this. They're getting no shots at the basket.
Just the 7 total looks to 21 shots for Bishop McGuinness at this point. That's front of the end.
She shot that behind the college line, and it fell short.
On the other end of the floor, attack true for Brianna West, but the call going to be offensive against West. So the senior guard whistled for the charge here, Coach.
That's a touchy call. That's 50-50. Goes either way.
Bishop McGuinness, the recipient of the whistle here.
And those 50-50 goals is what the spectators go crazy. And once it hits negative against them, they go crazy.
Those behind us letting their thoughts beat on right now. That is for sure. 6.5 remaining in the opening half of action. That lead's held steady at 10 for a little bit now. Let's see if the Villains can do anything with this trip. Bishop McGuinness, Northwest Piedmont 1A.
They're staying with the box and one. It has slowed them down. It really has. Their points are coming on turnovers. They're scored against pressure they're putting on Bertie.
Yeah, there for a while, they were rolling. It was a successful trip after successful trip for Bishop McGuinness. And you mentioned it. Box and one taking this game, putting the pause button on it as it has stayed at 21-11 for a bit. Certainly stayed at 21 in terms of the Villains scoring total. They'll have a chance to build on it as that is lost out of bounds. 3 fouls apiece for these two teams to this juncture. Mentioned Chapel, Charlie, that is the leading scorer among the twins for Bishop McGuinness. 5 apiece for Jernigan and her sister Tate Chapel. A bucket already for Katie Deal. On the Bertie side of things, 6 points for Peel. 3 ball for Smallwood. And Boone with a bucket. Here is the latest of the scoring opportunities for the Villains. How about that West Shore home 3?
I tell you, you know, Bishop McGuinness has taken 22 shots, and Bertie's only taken 7.
That's the number we read just a moment ago that really splits the difference in this contest. And up the floor with an eye on it. That's gathered up right in front of that Bertie bench. It'll belong to the Falcons coming quickly the other way. Laid off the glass. Yasmin Boone, a second interior bucket, and the Bertie crowd getting into it as the lead is down to 9. Chapel tried to answer Charlie Chapel underneath. Taken back, little turnaround. How about the work to get into a position in which she could score by Tate Chapel, who lays it off the glass.
Bishop McGuinness is very well coached, but they have nice players, very skilled, very smart.
Coming this way with it, Charlie Chapel again, lead to 11 once more.
That's the first time Jernigan's gotten the ball.
West Shore home 3. Here comes Boone. Threw it right into the hands of Barner. And Bishop McGuinness in transition. Chapel lowered her head. Kicked it off near side, but the sister Tate shot won't go. And an extra step. Traveling violation with 4:11 to go. Gives us a chance to remind you that we'll be tracking all the key numbers for you across the course of the day as part of the Legacy Federal Credit Union stats. At halftime, we'll show them to you throughout the contest. We will have the Legacy Federal Credit Union stats from one period to the next for you. And we thank our sponsors. At a Legacy Federal Credit Union, be your best you. You can do it with a Legacy Federal Credit Union. Under 4 remaining in the opening half. Fans vocal in behind this Bishop McGuinness squad. 3 won't go, but a foul. And 3 from the free throw line coming on the other side of this break. So there will be 3 North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throws coming the direction of Bishop McGuinness after the break.
In 100 counties in North Carolina, we have over 800 agents. We are within the communities, and our job is to help you. It's not just a business relationship, it's a friendship. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builders Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
Stick around at halftime. We'll have the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. Reminder, they have all the resources you need to keep yourself, your family safe this day and all the days ahead. And that halftime will feature an interview from North Carolina High School Athletic Association Commissioner Q Tucker. We'll have first half highlights, a whole lot more coming for you at the break. But don't get too excited about that just yet, because we got a lot of basketball left here in this first half. 3:52 to go in the second period. 14 fouls now against the Falcons, 3 of them on Bishop McGuinness. And the Villains have Isabella Ross, Izzy Ross, the junior guard at the stripe. She was fouled in the act of shooting 3, so she'll have a trio from the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw line. Here comes the third, one more remaining, as she'll try to knock down this one. 27-15. And her designs to make it 28. She will. The lead grows to 13 for the Villains with just under 4 to play in the half.
And McGuinness has taken 31 shots to 9.
That's knocked away and knocked home. Taken right up by Adelaide Jernigan. And Jernigan pads her own stats to this point. Takes it to 30-15. Villains have doubled up the Falcons at 30-15 with 3.5 to play. And this is knocked away. Going to be slowed down into the hands of Jernigan once more. Swing to the corner. Here's a West Shore 3. And that is nothing but twine for Izzy Ross. A West Shore home 3, extending the lead to 33-15. And that's a quiet bucket for Jessica Stokes. There's the player we highlighted in the open for Bertie. They really need to get her jump started, Coach.
Exactly. It's the first time she really touched the ball. They passed the ball above the top of the zone that time instead of dribbling into a trap.
Front of the iron, another West Shore 3 taken. Bertie 1 for 1 from beyond the arc. Bishop McGuinness having knocked down 5 of their 15 attempts from beyond the arc.
That 3 she just took, if she took that in a high school gym, they'd go, why is she shooting so far out?
She's half court.
Not that she didn't even realize it. She was about 3 or 4, she's about 3 feet behind the college line.
2:36 to go. Substitutions coming. Bertie going to get Kinzaria Askew into the game. The senior wearing jersey number 4 enters. Basketball headed for Boone. Slapped away. She just threw that up behind her head and it went through. Now the traveling call will negate it, but the body language said everything from Jernigan. And that's kind of the way things have gone for Jernigan and company of late. Again, this one will not count as she took an extra step, but watch this. Everything falling right now for Bishop McGuinness.
Adelaide, she's going to 3 years from now. There'll be a lot of college coaches going to Bishop McGuinness.
This is a tie-up. Possession arrow is with the Villains. So it will be Bishop McGuinness basketball. Bishop McGuinness, if you're wondering about that journey here, we promised it a bit earlier. We gave you the teams, but 68-20 against Greystone, 65-49 Rosman, 66-47 North Rowan, 45-35 Murphy, and then a 48-37 win over Mountain Heritage to earn the trip to Raleigh. Bertie with 2 minutes to play. Left side for Boone. A little too strong. And flying in there was Askew, likely to be whistled for the foul, and she will. First for Askew, and it's going to be inbound by Isabella Ross. Their journey, by the way, for the Bertie Falcons, Cape Hatteras, 68-18, scored 77 in a win over Woods Charter, 77-31, 58-31. Chatham Central back on the 26, and then 60-44 Northside Pinetown in order to work their way forward into this one. And that's laid off the glass. Little outlet to Boone. No numbers, was a 2-on-2, but Boone will lay it up. And the finish going to be provided by Stokes. Stokes beginning to heat up a bit here in the second.
Well, she wasn't even in the picture because they couldn't get the ball up the court.
Great point.
Now when the ball gets there, she's touching it.
Bertie still with work to do, down 33-19. Here's a three ball from the corner, rims out.
She's also the leading rebounder, but they haven't been shooting the ball. Offensive rebounder.
Zipped inside, trying to work it to her again. They will. Here is what Jessica Stokes can provide if the Bertie Falcons can continue to distribute the basketball her direction.
Exactly.
Lead is 12, under a minute to play in the half.
Now I see why she's second leading scorer of the rebound.
Left side. There is Charlie Chappell. Set the tone early to Chappell with those 7 points. Adds to her total in the final minute of the second quarter. Askew faked ahead. That pass just kind of worked its way less than deliberately over to Boone. And here is a look at the most recent of the moments in the interior for Stokes.
She has really good size, and she has a good feel down there with the ball. Needs to get to her more.
You know, you were watching the Class A state championship game. Our broadcast presented by West Shore Home. Half-minute remaining before the break. Kicked out top, all kind of room there. And a good look underneath, wide open under the bucket. Tate Chappell lays it home. And with 9 seconds to play, it's taken right back. What a furied finish to the quarter by Bishop McGuinness, to the half right now with 9.9 to play. And as a result, they've stretched the lead out to 16. And that may give that lead a little more depth, as to the line with a couple of North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throws will be Bishop McGuinness, Tate Chappell. The Chappells, the juniors, Charlie at 5'5", the spark plug, Tate Chappell, the size at 5'11" on the interior. What a duo they make, those two twins.
They're really good. The whole team, all the players out there are very solid players.
We'll give you that address you want to visit. Go to ncdps.gov/careers. Find out more about how you can become a part of the North Carolina Department of Public Safety. Final 10 seconds. Bertie, having seen the lead grow to 18 for Bishop McGuinness. Can she beat the horn? Floats it through the lane. And Yasmin Asia Boone gives them a bit of a lift. These Falcons head into the locker room as she cuts the lead to 16 at the intermission. Talk about handling the final seconds before the horn.
And she dribbled right around. She kept the ball the whole time, dribbled through two people, and took a nice shot.
Well, we will have the halftime show coming up for you on the other side of the break. myspot.nc.gov halftime report. That's what's next from Raleigh.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem. West Shore Home is the easiest solution on the market for shower and bath remodeling. And today I'm joined by Kirsten to see why so many homeowners trust West Shore with their shower and bath project.
So Joe, every year thousands of homeowners use us for their bath or shower remodel. We make it so easy and convenient. Check us out online. You're going to see thousands of reviews, customers raving about West Shore Home.
Yeah, check them out. It's like one 5-star review after another. It's really impressive. Now, I know a lot of people are getting ready to start their project now. Anything special you can do for them?
So Joe, anyone who's looking to update their shower or bath should definitely give us a call. We're offering 5 years of 0% interest financing plus 50% off the cost of installation. Take a look at some of these jobs we've done recently. The work turns out amazing.
Folks, you heard Kirsten. West Shore Home helps tens of thousands of homeowners every year. And give them a call now and take advantage of that great offer. It's 5 years of 0% interest financing plus 50% off the cost of installation. Call West Shore Home now.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Arby's classic roast beef, adored by billions. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
You're watching the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. COVID-19 vaccines are available to everyone 5 and older and boosters for 12 and older. Find them at myspot.nc.gov.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's time for some high school championship basketball, baby. I'm Nelson Weston, and who better to join us than our good friend all the way from Ingalls Markets, Melissa Level. Melissa,
I'm so excited to see you.
I'm always excited to see you as well. Now, you and I both know that Ingalls has had a long-standing partnership with the community in terms of academics and athletics for a long, long time now. Right. The question has to be asked, though, what inspires y'all to want to continue supporting the community?
Well, you know, Ingalls is part of our communities. We're a big corporation, but our stores are individual beacons inside smaller communities. So with that being said, this is a perfect way to do that. Supporting young athletes, supporting schools, that helps us build bigger, stronger communities.
I like that. Now, speaking of community, you and I both know that in the community, Ingalls is also known for their delicious, mouth-watering, and tasty good food.
Oh, I know.
What are some of your favorite dishes at Ingalls?
You know, I love going to the Ingalls Deli. Everything is already made. I can get a great sub with boar's head beef or pick up a nice hot meal, go to the park, go to the game. No mess, no fuss.
That would hit the spot right about now.
I'm starving.
Now, y'all are also known for y'all's famous Tools for Schools program.
That's right.
Now, on one hand, for those who are unfamiliar, what is Tools for Schools? But more importantly, how does the public get involved?
Well, it's really simple to get involved, and you just have to register your Ingalls Advantage card. That's free, and then attach it to a school of your choice, and every time you shop and use that card, a percentage of your sales go to that school.
Wow.
It's wonderful. It allows teachers and administrators to get the things they need for their school without having to pay for it out of their own pocket. It allows our shoppers, our customers, to be able to benefit the community just by shopping at Ingalls.
Now, just to follow up with that, how long has this program been around? And furthermore, how much in terms of donations have been made since its inception?
It's been around 17 years, and we're close to $23 million in donations.
Close to $23 million?
Yes.
That is outstanding work. Melissa, you and Ingalls, y'all keep up the magnificent work.
Well, thank you.
Folks, it's time for some high school championship basketball. We invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the game.
Sometimes playing our best game means changing our approach. Think about your favorite sport. For me, that's soccer. When you're playing a new team and you use a new move against them, you score. But once the rival team sees your moves, they can prepare against your team in the future. That's how viruses, like the coronavirus, work. Which means as new variants pop up, we have to adapt to defend ourselves. COVID-19 vaccines help our bodies recognize the virus and the different variants. They are our best defense against COVID-19, so don't wait to vaccinate. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
Great news. Free Burary has been extended. If you're considering replacing your heating and cooling system, now is the perfect time with ARS. For a limited time, ARS is giving away an 80% gas furnace and Nest thermostat absolutely free with the purchase of select high-efficiency air conditioning systems. That's right. Purchase a select air conditioner and receive an 80% gas furnace and Nest thermostat absolutely free. ARS Rescue Rooter, heating, cooling, and plumbing. Call 919-865-7777 to schedule your appointment.
Call ARS and Rescue Rooter.
You're watching the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. COVID-19 vaccines are available to everyone 5 and older and boosters for 12 and older. Find them at myspot.nc.gov.
Welcome in, Commissioner Tucker. It's great to have you back after another successful season. How good is it to be back in the Smith Center or Reynolds Coliseum for the championships?
Well, it is so good that I can hardly contain myself in trying to describe it. It's been 2 years almost to the date when we had to postpone and then ultimately cancel our state championships, even though we had championships last year and they were in great venues of our high schools, on our high school campuses, but to be back in our old stomping grounds, so to speak, it just is a good feeling. It makes us feel like we're getting back to what is more normal.
How did the regional championships go at all the sites across the state?
I thought for the most part, every comment I heard has been very positive. We had been thinking about the 5th round being in a neutral facility and looking at some of the large high schools, but it was difficult to be able to do that prior to some teams not advancing. And so some of those large high schools stepped forward and said, you know what, we'll host. And they did a wonderful job.
So many exciting games this weekend. What are you most looking forward to?
As I am a former basketball coach, I always am excited to just be able to watch the game be played. So just to be able to get into the Smith Center, get into Reynolds, and be able to see basketball is always just a thrill for me. But what I enjoy the most is being able to look at the faces of the young people as they compete, to watch the coaches as they're on the sidelines trying to get them to perform at their highest level. It's just a wonderful, wonderful experience. And then, of course, you can't dismiss the fans. They all come in. They all know how to coach that game. They all know how to officiate that game. And so just to watch them and to just experience them experiencing the game is really just exciting.
Shifting gears a bit to the organizational side of the association, can you provide an update on the NCHSAA's progress towards a memorandum of understanding with the State Board of Education?
Well, since November, House Bill 91 obviously was signed by Governor Cooper back then. Since that time, our executive committee, along with our full board of directors, have been working with the Board of Education to carve out the memorandum of understanding. There were some rules that had to be crafted, drafted, so to speak. And then once those rules were put in place, or at least were put on paper, then we went about the business of trying to get the memorandum of understanding to something that would still be of benefit to not only the organization itself, but to all boys and girls across the state. So we now have a memorandum of understanding that has not been signed, but our board has essentially said we will approve of what we've been able to carve out. Right now, the process, the voting is underway, and then it'll be about the bylaws and trying to make sure that they all work together. And then it goes into effect July 1, 2022.
Thank you for your time, Commissioner Tucker, and congratulations on a great season.
Thank you very much. Look forward to seeing you.
I've got a math question for you. When you add tolerance, subtract prejudice, and multiply efforts to treat one another with respect, what do you get? Less division. And school sports have it down to a science. Looking for an example of what can happen when we realize there's more that unites us than divides us? Look no further than high school sports in North Carolina.
This message presented by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the North Carolina Athletic Directors Association.
Are you turning 65 or currently on Medicare? Well, then listen up. I'm Medicare Mel, owner of the Hall Insurance Group, and I'm here to help you. The new Medicare plans in your area may include no-cost dental, vision, prescription drug coverage, healthy food card, utility payment assistance. Plus, we may be able to eliminate your Part B premium and put more money back in your Social Security check. And I'm local, so call me. I can help, but not if you don't call. Medicare Mail, 919-887-0266.
Sometimes playing our best game means changing our approach. Think about your favorite sport. For me, that's soccer. When you're playing a new team and you use a new move against them, you score. But once the rival team sees your moves, they can prepare against your team in the future. That's how viruses, like the coronavirus, work. Which means as new variants pop up, we have to adapt to defend ourselves. COVID-19 vaccines help our bodies recognize the virus and the different variants. They are our best defense against COVID-19, so don't wait to vaccinate. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
Everyone 5 and older can get a COVID-19 vaccine. Visit myspot.nc.gov.
You're watching the myspot.nc.gov halftime report. COVID-19 vaccines are available to everyone 5 and older and boosters for 12 and older. Find them at myspot.nc.gov.
Closing in on second half action, this Bishop McGuinness squad to this point having made 14 baskets from the field and 6 free throws. Here's a look back at some of the key moments and the highlights from the first half.
They move the ball well, and here's that inside the college line 3.
5 threes made by Bishop McGuinness. They shot 16 of them, knocked 5 trays down along the way.
Inside the college line again.
You're watching the location.
Nice shooters.
Working it outside. Boy, that was a great stroke from Tate Chappell, one of the Chappell twins. And then the completion by Izzy Ross. Here's the look on a good drive to the bucket by Boone.
When they shoot, they're shooting 66% from the field, but they're not getting the shots. The shots up.
Put back by Stokes. She was involved. Here's Stokes underneath once more.
She got involved. They got the ball up to her, and she's a nice player inside.
Boone beat the horn, cut the lead to 39-23. A quick look at our stats brought to you by a Legacy Federal Credit Union. We'll come back, talk about some of those numbers, get you set for the second half of action. Thanks to our friends at a Legacy Federal Credit Union for keeping you updated on the numbers. The big number, 39-23 Bishop McGuinness. Second half after the break.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa. Beast mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Get the Planet Fitness Black Card, our most popular membership for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. With access to 2,000 plus locations, bring a friend every time you visit.
I love friends.
And relaxing massage chairs.
That makes me so happy.
The PF Black Card is your ticket to all the perks.
Look at that glow.
Oh, it's all natural.
It's this place, I tell you. So get glowing and feel fit-tacular for zero enrollment and only $22.99 a month. Deal ends Wednesday, March 16th.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builder's Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build, build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
For 31 years, Apple Tree has been locally owned and operated with 5-star facilities and an expert staff dedicated to caring for children ages 0 to 12. We strictly follow CDC guidelines and keep facilities clean with Zono sanitation stations. Our parents look forward to receiving daily pictures and updates of their children, which we provide in real time. We offer part-time and full-time care, as well as virtual learning for school-aged children. Apple Tree has 4 Southeast Raleigh 5-star locations. Space is limited. Call today.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa. Beast mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
From 2006 to 2014, it was Bishop McGuinness. Year after year, the crew out of Kernersville trying to make this the latest of the championship runs. Up at the half, 39-23, first possession of the third. Not as fruitful as the majority of those in the contest. And here's Bertie looking to answer out of the locker room, and that's a good start as Bertie gets it to peel underneath, and the first bucket of the third quarter belongs to the Falcons.
That's the first time I saw confidence with the ball handling, and also that was a great pass.
Well, it's about a 2-hour journey, 124 miles for the Falcons of Bertie. Much longer journey than that. When you talk about the preparation to get here, you know they're going to fight down the stretch in this Class A title game. And here's a turnover. Looking out front, that's to Boone, but waiting on it was Charlie Chappell. And there's those Chappell twins again. We talked about the freshman nature of Jernigan, how young she is, and attributes the play of Charlie Chappell and Tate Chappell, the sisters, and their experience from their freshman campaign when Bishop McGuinness made the deep run a couple of years ago, is really helping her embrace her role and calm into this championship environment.
Exactly right. Bertie's now going to and they've got out of that box and won.
Changing up things a little bit on the defensive end of the floor. Again, resulted in a turnover a moment ago. Stokes went for broke on another. Was not to be, and here is a West Shore home three. Matching her jersey number, Charlie Chappell. Second three for Chappell in the contest. She has 12 to lead all scorers. 12 for Charlie Chappell, 11 for Tate Chappell. The twins, both in double figures, the only 2 players now in double figures at this point in the game. Underneath, off the glass, Kirsten Varner. Give her a second bucket in the game. 44-24 Villains. Down the right side, that's Boone. Boone has 6. Led by Hill, who is right on the doorstep of double figures. This Bishop McGuinness squad at the half as well. Traveling call, going to go the other way. Bertie, if you're looking at it, the leading scorer, obviously Pill right now. 6 for Boone, 6 for Stokes, who they would like to see perform much like she did in the closing stages of that second half, or that second quarter, I should say, as we begin the second half. And Smallwood had the tray early in the game. She's got the long 3. Speaking of which, here's a second three-pointer shot today. A West Shore home 3 for Bertie. This one will not go for Smallwood. And it stays on this end of the floor. Smallwood 1 for 2. The team 1 for 2. In terms of three-point shots.
The way Boone is playing, I think the coach at halftime said, have confidence, go, will you move, and she is. She looked very tentative in the first half.
Long 3. Drained. Another for Jernigan, the freshman shining. She has 10. Jernigan and the Chappell twins, all 3 in double figures, embracing the championship moment for Bishop McGuinness.
McGuinness is taking off the full court pressure, but now they're in the half court.
Left side, off the window. Nice touch with the left hand for Brianna West. West is the only player you're really watching with any kind of foul trouble. She has 3. Nobody else with more than a couple of whistles. And just as we talk about it, we get a foul down low. And it looks like that is, and it is, going to be Jessica Stokes. That's just a first personal on Stokes. She was not whistled for a foul in that first half. And 2, the North Carolina Department of Public Safety free throw line goes Kirsten Varner. Yeah, a great story done in the News and Record by Joe Sierra about playing it forward and quoting the Bishop McGuinness freshman related to the impact that juniors Charlie and Tate Chappell have made? Remember that East Regional final in 2020 when the Twins were freshmen? 42-40 loss to Weldon. 55-54 loss to Mitchell in the regional semifinal a year ago. In the very forefront of the mind as they make it to the state championship environment here in 2022 and embracing it with a large lead here. But boy, you gotta love the responses. You gotta love the answers we're seeing from Bertie right now.
No, right, exactly right. And the only thing is McGuinness is making threes.
Cleaned out of there. Bertie looking up ahead. Boone
much more confident with the ball. Much more confident.
Boone with their hands in the air. They'll go to Boone, and here is Yasmin Asia Boone. But it's going to be Villains basketball underneath.
Great idea.
Coach Robinson, who's been with this program since 2002, watching as his team gets a bucket from Varner on the other end of the floor. It's a team that he said, quoting Coach Robinson, wants to win it so bad after the way the last couple of years went. Talks about how those now upperclassmen are helping these youngsters get ready to try to do just that here in the second half of play. And everything coming together thus far. 50 on the board and a sizable advantage in effect for the Villains.
It's time for all parents to have that conversation with their pediatricians.
Vaccines are an important part of the puzzle. We need to step out of ourselves and do what's best for everyone.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
Well, Bishop McGuinness to the mid-century mark, 50 on the board. This team coming into the Class A championship game on a mission. Coach, we revisit our Ingles food for thought, your keys to the game. You talked about rebounding and the opportunities it would provide to be in transition and avoiding turnover when the Bertie pressure was there. I think you have to give an A grade to the Villains. They performed very well in all aspects today.
Exactly. And, you know, Bertie, I was watching just the last time down the court when McGuinness traps. They're not trapping now. It's man-to-man. But when they do trap, Bertie doesn't send players to help the person with the ball out, the girl with the ball out.
Well, you have to chip away at a lead like this, one bucket at a time. There's one for Bertie as it's laid in by Pill, who's in double figures. She's the leading scorer. If you're Bertie, what adjustments, what transitions can you make to try to chip away? Maybe you look up, you find this thing close to 10, 15 points at some point.
Well, the big change from the beginning, the first half, is they're taking shots.
Absolutely.
You know, they're taking shots. And if they go in, and McGuinness doesn't score, then it's going to catch up.
Tossing inbounds here. We're talking about McGuinness. I know you've seen a lot of older players in your career who poured their lives into those coming behind them. This Bishop McGuinness team and evidence of that. For all the impact that a coach can have, as you see another bucket from close proximity laid in here. For all the impact a coach can have, sometimes when those players are coaches on the floor, it can make an even greater difference.
Oh, that really is a big thing. And the Chapel girls, you can see that they're running the show. And Jerrigan, she respects them. You can tell she respects them. And that's key. A lot of times the young kids don't respect sometimes.
Having somebody who's not that far ahead on the journey, not that far removed from you, but still has been where you are, it can be a valuable, valuable asset, and that's what you're seeing come to fruition for Bishop McGuinness. Bertie on the attack. Here's Boone. That's off the glass, and it's going to be rebounded. pretty cleanly by Ross, and we get a whistle with 2:18 to go in the third. Substitution standing by for these two. More time on the floor coming for Jessica Stokes, and a breather going to be provided to Katie Deal as she comes off, and Tate Chappell finds her location on the floor.
Let's see if they can stop them. They're going to have to get some stops here.
Into the hands of Jernigan once again. Her game so impressive. So mirroring what we've seen from the Chappells, and that was all the freshman Jernigan.
That was a left hand, too. I believe she's right-handed.
She may be making a case for ambidextrous in what you just saw there a moment ago. Down the left side, and that's going to be gathered up by Stokes. Coming back to the bucket with an attack is Peel. And a good finish, so a bucket for Bertie. And here come the Falcons. 52-35 now with 95 seconds left in the third. Chappell, a fake of a West Shore home three.
They're very disciplined.
Then she goes to the hoop. Rebound comes down into the grasp of Rakaya Peel. Boone again. A little too strong.
She didn't show any of that confidence in the first half. She's showing the confidence now. That was a good shot.
Coming into her own in the state championship environment. Closing in on 1 minute remaining in period number 3. Just a couple of fouls. Both of them whistled against the Falcons in this period. Enough length. Reaching out, touching Kirsten Varner, who has the bucket. Varner has quietly placed herself right there on the edge of becoming a 4th double-digit scorer. Actually make it 5. Izzy Ross joining the trio of Jernigan and the Chappell twins. They're going to have 5 in double figures, it would seem, before the day is done at least. And the Villains on the move again. Charlie Chappell will go to the line.
Well, you know, coaches.
Well, she's making a bid to be perhaps that West Shore Home Player of the Contest. West Shore Home, America's most admired home remodeling brand, and throughout the day-to-day, sponsors of our West Shore Home Player of the Game. You saw Bishop McGuinness, Brian Robinson, turn to his bench. He's going to get a duo into the game right now of Ashley Hawley and Olivia Stone. So a couple more freshmen coming onto the floor for Bishop McGuinness. They're loaded with outstanding young players, Coach.
Yeah, they have depth. They have a lot of depth.
That's knocked down for Chappell, who's one of those upper-class leaders, part of the junior twin duo. And inside a half minute, the lead at 55-35, steady at 20. And off the fingertips of Jessica Stokes. Well, you think about the title runs for this Bishop McGuinness squad, what they built there, Northwest Piedmont 1A and in Kernersville, North Carolina. And it's run down. And a little sportsmanship as a help there. Back to the feet. Gives us a chance to remind you we'll also have the play of the game at the conclusion of this contest. Talk It Out North Carolina, sponsors of our play of the game. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. That's the Talk It Out North Carolina play of the game. Just 10 seconds remaining in the third here, Coach. And Bishop McGuinness having taken command of the basketball game.
Well, they've showed 3 defenses. The first, you know, when they scored in the first half, they would full court pressure. If they didn't, they would go double team you. They're man, but they double team you in the half court. Now it's just straight up man. So they've taken away, and so Bertie's getting through that and not turning it over so much, which is really helping. They're getting legit shots.
Second of 4 today. Coming up after this one, we will have the 5 p.m. showdown. The men's 1A contest to follow, and then ladies back on the floor for our 7:30 nightcap in the 3A ranks. If you missed it earlier, West Charlotte Lions 83-75 winners, and Bishop McGuinness carrying a 55-35 lead in the fourth to try and join those Lions of West Charlotte on Championship Saturday in the state capital of North Carolina.
Parents all over North Carolina are taking the Talk It Out pledge with their teens. It helps you make a plan together for what they'll do if friends have alcohol. It says they can call you anytime without being punished.
Thanks, Dad.
Anytime. Thanks for calling.
No problem.
You know, when I'm not busy driving nails, I'm driving through Builders Discount Center. And no wonder. They have top-grade materials and the best prices in town. The lumber, roofing, windows, vinyl siding, and complete packages for storage buildings, decks, even garages. And you can just drive in, load up, and drive out.
You can't do that at those big box stores.
Real projects, real materials, real fast. Don't just build, build tough. BuildersDiscount.net.
CW22 and Sinclair Broadcast Group want to help the next generation of storytellers. If you're pursuing a career in journalism or marketing, scan the QR code on your screen to apply for the Sinclair Broadcast Group Diversity Scholarship. To qualify, students must be a sophomore or junior in college and satisfy the full list of qualifications located at sbgi.net/scholarship. The deadline to apply is April 30th. Get started today.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you, shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
It's time for all parents to have that conversation with their pediatricians.
Vaccines are an important part of the puzzle. We need to step out of ourselves and do what's best for everyone.
Visit myspot.nc.gov to schedule your child's COVID-19 vaccine today.
At the Dean Smith Center in 2006, Bishop McGuinness 54-31 wins over Southeast Halifax. They would win it at Reynolds the next year. Alternating between the Smith Center and this Coliseum between 2006 and 2014. They won every championship in that stretch. And Bishop McGuinness, after a bit of a pause since, back here looking to return to the top of 1A women's basketball in North Carolina, and they lead at 55-35 against the Falcons of Bertie as we enter the fourth period of action. And here's a long three. That was from other parts of the triangle, right? But just a bit off the mark. She doesn't mind to try it again, and this time it rattles down for Jernigan. The freshman has been amazing. She has 15 to lead all scorers. Does the youngest of these villains.
Jason, why is she a good shooter? Because she has good form. Really nice.
Bertie, the Smallwood down inside to Boone. And Boone tried to kick it back out, but the length of Jernigan a little too much as she punches this out. Here's a glance at our Hardee's points in the paint. Try the new Bacon Beast menu at Hardee's. Crispy bacon in a burger, biscuit, or breakfast burrito. Take your pick. Hardee's keeping you informed about the points in the paint. You see a slight advantage, +4 for Bertie there, but I'm going to tell you, Coach, the statistic that has to jump off the sheet at you, 40 points off turnovers for Bishop McGuinness. We talk about how well they've shot the three, 7 out of 20 from beyond the arc, and 20 field goals made for this crew. They're at the doorstep of 60, and if she gets these two at the line, it'll be 60, heading to the charity stripe for our Builders Discount Center free throws. Is the premier performer in this contest, at least scoring-wise, Jernigan. You got to talk about the Chappell sisters. You love them. Southpaws as well, by the way, as you pointed out, as they have performed so solidly in the Builders Discount Center free throw, rims off left side.
And Charlie's really, she's had open jump shots, but she's leading the team in assists. She's got, right now she's got 7. But she's had open jump shots. She runs the show. She doesn't take the open ones.
They scored 79 here at Reynolds in the 2007 championship game. That the high water mark in terms of production in a single state championship contest in that run for Bishop McGuinness. They're, as I mentioned, right there on the doorstep of 60 as we speak, as they come down the floor with a commanding lead. Though Bertie still battling, has Boone on the run. Nice spin move, but she can't knock it home. Then a try for Stokes underneath. In the end, it'll be run out by the Villains. Bishop McGuinness, 6 minutes and change. Removed, it would seem, with the way things are trending from returning to glory in 2022. Stuck on 58 right now, though. That's punched out into the grasp of Katie Deal. Underneath, a whistle as contact comes.
I've been watching
from Simone Williams.
I've been watching McGuinness shoot. They've missed 5 of three-pointers that would go in if they were shooting in a high school gym. They're just too far out and they're falling just short. But I've counted 5 of them.
Of course, Bertie making the trip over, couple-of-hour drive, 124 miles from Hereford, North Carolina. Four Rivers 1A representative in that Columbia blue, navy, and white. Congratulations on a great year. Their principal, Antonio Hoggard, with Robert Brown, the athletic director, and we've shown you head coach Chris Jordan, but we should mention the rest of the staff. Barbara Cash, Tiara Brown, who have been a part of this 22-win campaign for a Bertie squad that is still fighting as they bring it up the floor here with 5:40 to play.
Totally different team this half. You know, now that I look at it, they were really nervous in the first half. They're handling themselves better, the confidence. Well, most of those turnovers we talked about came in the first half. They've made more of a game out of it right now.
Well, and with a head of steam toward the bucket, putback is true, and there's Stokes. Stokes is in double figures. Stokes and Peel both with double-digit scoring totals today. And Peel, she's right there, as is Stokes, at a double-double, 8 and 9 rebounds respectively. So they may very well put together state championship double-doubles today. And that's off the front of the rim as it rolls down. Bishop McGuinness having eclipsed the 60-point threshold with 5 to play and just out of the reach of the intended target, Jessica Stokes. You know, same thing for Bishop McGuinness. Let's talk Laurie Mulqueeney, Trish Grant, Mackenzie Rockford, Emily Rue, all a part of Brian Robinson's staff, and it is a joint effort. When you have the type of expectations, the type of bar that has been set for Bishop McGuinness, and these villains having embraced that. You know, such a young team the last few years, and so much of that youth now coming to fruition in the juniors, Chapel, and the way these freshmen around them, particularly what we've seen from Jernigan, have embraced 2022.
She doesn't act like a freshman. She doesn't look like she doesn't play like a freshman. She's very good.
That's into Tate Chapel's hands. And Katie Deal controlling for a moment there. Deal, one of the junior group that has made such a mark for this program. Traveling call. Going to give it back over to Bertie. Yeah, you have Francesca Moya, a senior. And that's it. Everybody else going to be back for more when all is said and done. Either a junior, and then we talk about so many freshmen. You got a handful of sophomores, including Varner, who we've seen good work from today, but this still a fairly young squad for Bishop McGuinness. 2022 may be the start of another run for this team when you take a look at what all is coming back.
Well, I tell you what, when I saw them, you know, I'm talking about youth, experience against youth, and youth being McGuinness, but they're mature. That's not youth out there. Plus, the freshman now is a sophomore. A sophomore is a junior because it's end of the season.
Yeah, experience out of the program for sure. As Chapel could not quite lay it home at the 3:35 mark, but 61 points on the board for Bishop McGuinness, and the crew out of Kernersville in command with 3.5 to play.
At Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina, we resolve to have your back and be your trusted partner in health, so you have the confidence to make caring for your family easy. Visit BlueCrossNC.com to learn more about coverage that's right for you.
There's something bigger than just me. I represent an entire facility.
People appreciate you for what you do. Thank you. Shake your hand.
I feel like I'm doing a service to the citizens of North Carolina.
You know, you want to be the best officer you can be.
Arby's, 2 for $6 every day. Crispy fish with that spicy kick. 2 of those things for just $6. Arby's, we have the meat.
Jay Leno and Kevin Eubanks.
But I'll tell you what, Kevin's going to give you $100, right, Kev?
Bring their own twist to a TV classic.
Let's play You Bet Your Life!
Well, the journey appearing as if it's going to end in a championship again for Bishop McGuinness here in one of the great arenas, one of the great cathedrals for basketball in the state of North Carolina. Such a rich history of this sport in this state. And Bishop McGuinness leading at 61-39 at Valvano Arena, Reynolds Coliseum, K-Out Court. These ladies in command by 20 even after that bucket by Bertie. And Coach, how about Bishop McGuinness? They practiced at Cameron Indoor Stadium yesterday. They're playing for a championship in Valvano Arena at Reynolds Coliseum today. That's quite a journey for a high school athlete and quite a memory-making couple of days. Quite a 48 hours for this group.
Well, they came in here very confident and felt good. They weren't nervous. They weren't nervous at all. But I tell you, you think about it, there's a series on right now, the history of ACC basketball. And every case started, it was really the ACC tournament, the history of the ACC tournament. Every case right here. That's where really basketball started. Tournament started. The NCAA tournament came right here. And I remember as a head coach, my second game, Mike Krzyzewski was just in his third year. And Coach Bobby Crimmins left me a good team at Appalachian. He was at Georgia Tech at the time. And I went into Cameron and won. So I thought I was really a good coach, right? We won by 5. And 4 nights later, I came into this building, not this one, the old one. And old Coach Valvano, Jimmy, beat me by 42. Welcome to college basketball, Coach Cantwell.
Humbling experience. A reminder where things sit.
But this building, I mean, you have to watch that film to realize what went on in here. It was amazing.
And the ghost's still there. The visions as you look up and down the floor of what once was in this fine facility for basketball. And what is about to be for Bishop McGuinness, it would seem, is the latest of the titles. If you just happen to be joining us, they won it from 2006 to 14 in succession in the ranks in which they were so effective in that stretch. And that kind of the catalyst for this. We talked about how this team had been knocking on the door the last couple of years. They may be on the verge of the same type of run once again, as with 2 minutes to play, they lead at 63-42, trying to salt away a 2022 championship.
Yes, well, Coach, they have the only person who's put the ball on the floor since they've had the ball is Charlie. On first one, everybody else is catching and passing.
Will loft, and that laid off the glass.
Great possession.
Well, how about the energy? Tate Chapel letting you know just how much each bucket means right now with 1:43 to play.
They took 35 seconds to do that. It was really nice.
A year ago, Providence Grove High School, the location. Murphy, a 76-34 win over Princeton. And after the cancellations the year before, what a thrill that was just to get back to this kind of environment. And now a moment that a coach can give some of those key players as they are greeted by the Bishop McGuinness faithful with 1:26 to play. Appreciation for what 2022 has been as he brings that group, that tremendously talented young group, off the floor.
Well coached. They're fun to watch. They play the game exactly what you're supposed to do. They really are fun to watch.
The moment you just saw there is, again, not a tip of the cap to those who will be graduating and departing, but a thank you to a group that is just getting started. And how about a state championship bucket? Nevaeh Fears, the sophomore. She'll have a memory to take home from Raleigh on this day. That's thrown away. And what it means to so many of these young players as well. Yes, it's the final minute. Yes, the contest settled. But this is something they'll talk to their children and grandchildren about. The bucket they scored in Reynolds at the end of that state championship.
Yeah, and they might not make it back here. You know, you never know. A lot of luck plays into things, but they have to cherish this event and moment.
Kate Denon into the contest. That's being handled by Sadie Quinn Wall, the sophomore on the far side. Try to get as many of these names in as possible. Ellen Thompson with a 3 ball. She's got a West Shore home 3. Thompson, the freshman, knocks it down.
They might be good for the next 5 years, 10 years.
Yeah, this is that secondary group in the contest right now for Bishop McGuinness. Bertie still trying to improve the point total. What a year it's been. This Bertie group out of Hertford, out of Four Rivers 1A, 22 wins. It's a season to remember. But with 70 on the board, This one belonging to Bishop McGuinness. Underneath, a little contact as Kate Denon tried to gather up the basketball. It'll be lost out to Bertie. Final seconds going to tick off the game clock. Bishop McGuinness once again. The queens of Class A basketball in North Carolina. So many titles at the Smith Center, so many titles here at Reynolds. But for this group, knocking on the door the last couple of years, it is that elusive championship that you can add to that run from 06 to 14. And maybe, we'll say it one more time, a vision of things to come, perhaps the beginning of a run. These Chapel sisters coming back another year, they're juniors. The freshmen who helped lead the way today, Jernigan, so many surrounding pieces with so much talent. Bishop McGuinness not going anywhere for a long, long time.
Well, you know, back in when I started coaching at Appalachian, my roommate in college was Coach Bishop McGuinness. He was a men's coach. And I started to get into the school and watch it. They've been winning games and championships since, you know, I guess that was 1976. I was giving my age here, but it was a long time ago. But they've been good a long time.
Absolutely. And you look at that recent stretch we talked about from 06 to 14, 79 points scored in 2007 here in Reynolds. They score 70 again. 70 on the button on the board for Bishop McGuinness, and that desire for a championship answered on this day. We'll come back with a trophy presentation. You will hear before we are done from Coach Brian Robinson of Bishop McGuinness. 70-35 the final. Villains title winners in 22.
With 4 strips of crispy bacon and rich melty cheese and 2 juicy charbroiled patties, of course no meeting can compete with this meat. Give in to the new Double Bacon Beast Burger at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Oh, this must be super embarrassing. Let me get that terrible driver I just got pulled over look. Wait, click. Perfect.
Whether you're a driver or a passenger, you're required by law to buckle up or face a fine up to $161. Click it or ticket. Every seat, every time.
West Shore Home is making it easier than ever to get your window or door project started right now. For a limited time, we're offering 5 years of 0% interest financing, plus 50% off the cost of installation.
Wow, that is an amazing deal, Kirsten. Now, tell us why homeowners might choose West Shore for their window or door project.
So, Joe, when we come out to your house, we bring a variety of options and styles for you to choose from, so each homeowner can make their project exactly what they're looking for. Plus, our windows and doors are all energy efficient, which means your home will be comfortable for years to come.
And comfortability is really important, especially now as we change seasons.
It definitely is. We're at the tail end of winter. And if homeowners have been noticing cold drafts coming through their windows or doors, it's definitely time to take care of that now before the brutal summer heat.
Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, do not put off that window or door project any longer. Call West Shore Home now and take advantage of this great offer. 5 years of 0% interest financing, plus 50% off the cost of installation.
With crispy bacon and fluffy eggs and melty cheese. Whoa. Beast mode doesn't have to stop for breakfast. Give in to the new Bacon Beast breakfast menu at Hardee's and feed your happy.
Villains of Bishop McGuinness awaiting the medals, awaiting the trophy, which will be headed back to Bishop McGuinness once more. Just a dominant performance for a young team that finally broke through, earned their way back to the championship environment here in Raleigh, and the day belongs to them at Reynolds Coliseum. Great year, though. This Bertie team really made some adjustments early third period that you were impressed with. And when you look at the journey here, just a tremendous season for Bertie.
Oh, you can't get here without being good. I mean, it doesn't have, you can be lucky a little bit, but you have to be good. And both coaches did a great job. They made adjustments. I thought the box of one slowed Bertie down from scoring because early on in the first and second quarter. And then in the second half, they took care of the basketball better. Bertie took it, and they brought the ball up the court. They seemed like they had more confidence. I think the moment, the beginning of the game, the moment got to them. They did not look the same in the second half as they did in the first half.
Well, Bertie being given their hardware, a great season. Again, you tip your cap to the Falcons, and now all attention turns to the villains, and we turn our attention to the player of the game. Here is some of the solid work for Charlie Chappell, our West Shore home player of the game.
She's nice. She's a point guard. This is a coach's dream. She, like I said, she had open jump shots. She would not take them. She wanted to run the show. Excellent job.
And congratulations to our West Shore home player of the game. And one more look at some of the solid leadership that Charlie Chappell has provided. You know, a great day for both she and her sister Tate Chappell. Jernigan, who's followed their lead, talked about their influence. Another solid day, all three of those ending in double figures. It should come as no surprise that the Twins are going to be involved in our talk it out play of the game. Chappell to Chappell to lay it home.
You have a guard. You know, they're twins, but one's not a guard. One is a guard, the other one's a forward. So
Start
that was
the conversation.
really compliment. Yeah.
Sorry, Coach. Start the conversation. Stop underage drinking. That's the reminder from the sponsor of our play of the game, Talk It Out, North Carolina. Sponsors of our play of the game all afternoon long. Well, names being given. I'll do it for you again here just to get everybody in there. Bishop McGuinness, Ashley Hawley, Francesca Moya, Charlie Chappell, who you saw, Kate Denon, Sadie Quinn Wall, Adelaide Jernigan, who had such a tremendous performance. Helen Thompson hit that three late at the end of the game. Tate Chappell, Kirsten Barner, Katie Dill, all starters. Grace Harriman, Izzy Ross, Nevaeh Fears, who had a bucket in the latter stages of this game, and Olivia Stone. That's the roster for a Bishop McGuinness team celebrating a 2022 championship. What can you say about the work of Brian Robinson? We'll hear from him in just a minute, but a high standard set there. He's been there since '02 and just keeps performing at the top level.
Oh, I tell you what, it was like every play was like in the same mold. He knew what to do, when to do it, defensively and offensively. He was really fun to watch. You know, he's been there a while. That's a long time to be there. But I tell you, watching them move and changing the defenses up, and they're bigger than I thought. You know, for a young team, they're bigger than I thought because they were very good long in the trap when they were trapping early. So, it's a great job. It was a tremendous job.
Congratulations to all those players we just named. We're going to send you courtside, give you some of the sights and sounds from right here at the Class A Championship. In just a bit, we'll be back with an interview with Brian Robinson of Bishop McGuinness.
From Bishop McGuinness, number
Well, Coach Brian Robinson of Bishop McGuinness working his way toward us. There you see his team celebrating the championship environment here in 2022. And, Coach, just a tremendous run. You have a young team. This may be another start of those runs, but the Twins pouring into so many of your young freshmen. You knocked on the door the last couple of years, and now it culminates in a championship. How do you put this into words, Coach?
Just really proud of them. They, you know, I told them the day before we came into the building that you got here because you're selfless. You know, you gave up a lot of stuff to get here, and the reason why you win championships is because you're selfless. You know, we don't put all tournament or all district or all conference on the walls. We put state championships on the wall, and you do that, you're legendary. And to be legendary, you have to be selfless, and these girls are, and that's why they're winning, and I'm very proud of them.
Coach, you came out with the full court press. You had to score first, which you did.
Right.
And then then when you didn't score, you pressed them here and you turned them into me. They only took like 9 shots in the first half. They weren't taking any shots.
Right. Well, we thought we could turn them over if we trapped the right way. Number one's a dynamite player, and we had to make sure we controlled her. And I think once we got under control, you know, it kind of snowballed. We got 1 steal, 2 steals, 3 steals, and again, when we're playing defense and rebound the basketball, we're pretty good. And again, just really proud of them for doing that, because in this environment, first time them being here, I thought I controlled our emotions very well and handled it very well.
Coach, very well coached team. Great job. Great job.
Obviously, you want to celebrate this one and take some time to do that. May be tough because you got most of these players coming back. Talk to the future with such a young team, Coach.
Well, I made the mistake on the 9 championships that we won about not enjoying them as much as I should have.
Good for you.
And when we got here again, I told myself I need to enjoy this one a little bit. So, yes, we do have almost everyone back next year, but I want to enjoy this one for a little bit, and then we'll get on the next one next summer when we get together in the summertime.
And if there's a positive about that, you get to celebrate this one together for a while.
Yes. So that's great. And like I said, I love being part of this program. I'm very fortunate to be part of this program, and we got a great bunch of girls, and again, I count myself as a lucky coach.
Well, congratulations on taking it back to Kernersville, for sure. Thanks,
Coach.
Coach.
Appreciate it.
That's the victorious head coach of the Class A champions in 2022. What a tremendous championship game. They put together 70 on this day, and it ends in a 26-win campaign for the Villains of Bishop McGuinness. Reminder, a couple more games coming up from here in Raleigh, so hang with us. Much more to come. And the final on this day in Class A on the girls' side. Bishop McGuinness 70, Bertie 42. Back on top in 22 for the Villains.
There was never plan B, just a path I'm taking.